about showing you some very cool things, and we're gonna need you to participate. So get on your camera if you can. And we are going to take questions in the chat, like I said, but also our Instagram page is where you're going to be able to follow up with us. So my email right now is literally, I think there's probably 700 unread messages right now, which I'm thrilled about because it means there's so many people that need our support, but it's going to be hard for me to get back to you all. But we have a team of my educational friends, all of us that are kind of in this, Jackie and Katie and a few others living in that Instagram page. So please do that. Go there because that is where we're going to be posting. We have lots of ways that we're going to support you, and we will tell you all about them in the Instagram page. And when you have questions, we want you to message us that way if you can. Okay, so your camera, I'm going to tell you how to turn your camera on too, but you should be able to see a little thing like this that says start video. Okay. All right. So let's talk about our agenda, okay? So as a good teacher, I want to tell you what your goal is today, okay? So our goal, and I don't want you guys to stress out, this is going to be fun. There's no better way to be socially distant than 500 of your teacher friends that are all in this together. So as a result of this training, you will be familiar with so many various ways that you can use Zoom to engage all of your students. Okay, so it's okay that you don't know all the tech. We're going to go through a bunch of it. But when I say, I promise you, we will send you lots of resources and we will support you after, we will. Okay, so that is all you have to worry about is just engaging, having fun, and realizing the potential for this. I want you to get a notebook if you can. You might, let me say it this way. If you are like not too overwhelmed and you can take notes, I want you to take notes. My husband always says I try to fit 10 pounds of you-know-what in a 5-pound bag. And that is true today. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to talk a lot about many, many things so that you can have a lot of ideas. Take down as much as you can. Do not feel like you need to use all of them. But I have people here from pre-K to grade 12. We have people from all over and doing different things in education. We want this to be able to be something all of you can take away from. But if you feel like you're overwhelmed with all the ideas, don't worry. You can write stuff down, figure out what works for you, but we are going to send you all this information too. So if writing it down is too overwhelming, that's okay. Know that we will send it to you and you can rewatch it. Okay, so we're going to talk about why Zoom, okay? And that is going to be a really great kind of like introduction for us. We're going to do a quick tour of Zoom so you can understand a few things. I'm going to teach you a little bit about setting expectations for online learning. All of you, if you're in the classroom, you know it's really important to set expectations with your kids and rules and norms and all that. You're going to have to do it here too. So we'll talk about that. And then the other thing about me that I didn't really share was that I have been, Jackie, Katie, and I actually have developed with the former organization that I used to work with. Really, we had the privilege of researching with some of the top-notch educational people out there and developing high leverage instructional strategies for teachers in a way that engages all of their students. So what we did is we took those, a few of those strategies that we've researched and coached teachers on around the country and made them so they'll work for you here. And I have a feeling after this, you're going to want to use Zoom all the time, even when you are with your kids physically. So we're really excited about this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing right now. And so all I'm doing is going to click a button. So as a host, which is what you guys will be when you're teaching, you have access to a dashboard that your students don't have, that you don't have. So I'm going to narrate out loud some of the things I'm doing and show you some screenshots so you can kind of see, oh, okay, this will be possible. I have a little red button that says stop share. I'm going to click that for a second. And then you should be able to see me. Can you see me nice and big? Yes? Great. So I am going to also make my view, and I'm going to explain this in a little bit, gallery view, so I can see all almost 400 of you that are on right now. So I can't see everybody. I have 15 pages of you. You will not have to teach a class that is 400. This is the largest class I have ever taught. And I am learning certain things as I go too. So don't stress, you will keep learning. What I love about this is that you guys are about to do something new and hard. And if you have that growth mindset that you always tell your kids you want, you can model for them. You guys, I am doing something new. I am doing something hard. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to embrace the mistakes because it means my brain is stretching. And gosh, what an amazing thing to be able to model for your kids, right? So this is what I want to ask you. And I can see you all, which is exciting. So you're going to keep there's a lot of you, so I can't see all of you at the same time. So I want you to do some hand signals for me. I want you to hold up a number 1 if this is the very first time you have ever been on Zoom, or I want you to do like a shoulder brush if you're like, I've done this before, I'm good. So, but do it and hold it up. Keep doing it because it takes me a little while. I see Rita has done this before, and Ashley is her first time. Rustin, you're an old hat at this. Ashley's done that, or Ashley first time. Christina has done this before. Okay, there's a lot of ones. Melanie's a 1. Landis is a 1. All right. Got it. Katie, can you mute all? I got a little bit of feedback there. So the reason why I'm saying that, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen right now with you guys, is that you all got on. It was your first time and you did it. And it seems like you got on time. So I'm super proud of you. It's easy. It's super simple for you, and it's simple for your students and your participants. The way that you got on is the way your kids are going to get on. Okay. So it's simple. It's not going to be that hard. If you have little ones, pre-K, kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, even sometimes even grade 4, their parents might have to help them get on. But I promise you, once they learn how to do it, it'll be pretty simple. There's also some cool things that you can do that you don't have to be live. So I'll tell you about those too. Because another great thing with this is that you can record and share. So I'm literally recording right now. Some of you should be able to see on your screen that we're recording. Okay. So you can record all of this, which is going to be amazing for you to be able to do. But also you can record your own Zoom video. So you don't need any students. You can just record yourself and wait till you see all the cool things you can do. You can record your lessons and then be able to send them to your students if you can't do it live, okay? So we'll talk more about that, but it's a really powerful tool in a lot of ways, okay? It's also easy. One of the amazing things is that on your tablet, on your phone, on your computer, on a Chromebook, it works everywhere. Kids can also call in if they don't have if they have a phone, they can call in and at least listen. They won't be able to see your screen, but they can at least listen in. Okay. If they have a smartphone, they can call in and see the screen. We have a 1-pager of tricks and tips for you from Zoom themselves that Katie is going to put in the link, put in the chat. And the only reason I'm having her put that in there, I want you to see that we can send websites. I can send you files right through the chat. So if you want students to access something, you could just send it to them. They can click on it, and then they can be using it. So I want you to click on the link when Katie sends some stuff, but don't worry. I don't want you to dig into it right now. I just want you to minimize it, but just so you can see how it's not just a chat. You can send files, you can send URLs. We'll also put in the chat here the way that you as a teacher can get the paid version of Zoom for free. So Zoom is giving all teachers their paid upgraded version for free. So you just have to get a free account and then it walks you through how to upgrade it. We're sending that link to you now as well, but we will send it in an email. So don't stress about it, but I just want to show you that you can do this, okay? The cool thing about this as well is that if you use Google Classroom or anything like that, you can share your screen. You can do, this is basically a portal to communicate with your students, and anything you do on your computer, you can do with your kids. Okay, we're gonna keep going. So I told you about the chat, right? And I usually say, send me a message on the chat, but all of you sent me birthday messages, so I'm so happy. But now what I want you to do is see that you can send a private chat to somebody. So what I want you to do is now send me a private chat and say something to me. Tell me something about yourself. Say hi, whatever you want. I want to see if you can send a private chat. And I love it for a variety of reasons. Okay, Jackie sent a chat. Carla sent me a message. Oh, birthday messages. Sherry. Lisa, Jamie, Heather, Eve. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I can't
I don't
read.
know how to chat.
I can read them all right now. I can't read them all right now, but the cool thing is I can download this chat automatically when I share, when I record, and I can look at all of these, even the private ones. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. So think about, I want you to start thinking, I want your brain to start moving. What are ways that you could send private messages to your kids, right? Like, gosh, if you know, there's a variety of things that hold you back from kind of saying certain things to kids in front of a whole class, but now you can say it privately. They can chat with you privately. We're gonna talk more about that. Okay, I want you to see this piece here, gallery view. When I am not sharing my screen, you are gonna have an option for a gallery view. So I'm gonna stop sharing right now. And I want you to look, if you are on a tablet or if you are on your computer, this should be pretty simple. If you are on your phone, you're just gonna have to swipe to see different people. But if you are on your computer, you should see something that says speaker view or gallery view. Click on it and see what happens. Because if you are on speaker view, you are seeing me. If you are on gallery view, you get to see like one page of a lot of people. Give me a thumbs up if you're doing that, if you're seeing this work. Give me a thumbs down if you're like, I don't know what the heck she's talking about. All right, I see Crystal's like not totally sure. Okay, Barry, I don't know if you're not there yet. Okay, play around with it a little bit. Ask questions in the chat. I told you I'm gonna move quickly. I can't answer all of them right now, but I want you to know what's possible, okay? And you can communicate with us after or later, but you have the ability to see it as a speaker or as your whole class. I love this. You can see your whole class on one screen, unless your class is 500 like mine. But if you have your whole class on one screen, think about the fun things you can do. And hand signals, whiteboards, like, gosh, like we can do a lot. I mean, you can do a lot of formative assessment right there. Quick 60-second check-ins.
Carrie, can you pause and say again slowly where gallery view is? I think that can be confusing to people.
Thank you, Katie. Yes. So if you're looking at the Zoom screen, at the top right-hand corner, you should see, and it might not say speaker view. It could just look like 9 little boxes. It depends how big your screen is. And if it's not 9 little boxes, it's a big box with 3 little boxes. Oh, Crystal got it. Okay, good.
Yes, thank you. That was so helpful for everyone.
Oh, good. All right. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to go back and share my screen. You can see how I'm toggling back and forth pretty simply. I'm going to show you how to do that. I already said, we already talked a little about muting and how you can mute and unmute. And that's where you can put your video as well, okay? You can put your video on and off. A little trick, if you don't have a camera on your computer, but you want your video on, if you have a smartphone and download the Zoom app, then you can just go right into your room on your phone and on your computer. So I am on my iPad and my iPad is in the room too. I just have my sound off on my iPad. There's a reason why I'm on my iPad, I'll tell you about in a minute, but I have my sound off. You can just put your phone up and that can be used as your camera, and then you can use your computer to do, because you can do more on your computer than you can on your phone, okay? So that is another piece of it. Now, this is super cool. You can actually raise your hand. So I want you to click on participants and look for your name and raise your hand. Melissa, raise your hand, and Rita, Christina, Linda, Jamie, Natalie, Terry Roach is here, yay! Holly, Kim, Jamie, Cheryl, Julie, look at that. Now lower your hands because you have covered my screen. So what happens when somebody raises their hand, you don't have to look for it. It literally pops up. It couldn't be simpler. My screen is inundated with all of you raising your hands. And I need y'all to put your hands down now. It's like that class, you know, when you have a class and all the kids raise your hand and you're like, put your hands down. Okay, put your hands down. So you can also, if you look in that same place, you could clap for me. Or you could, let's clap for Katie because Katie's awesome. So we can clap. So look for clapping. You can also, if I ask you a question, you can say, so let's look at this. I'm going to ask you a question. You ready? Are you happy about being home, working from home? Or are you not happy? Yes, if you're happy. No, if you're not happy. I can see there's more no's than yeses. More no's than yeses. So many, so many, so many. Okay. You can tell me to go slower. You can tell me to go faster. So there's a lot of nonverbals, and which I think is amazing. You know, like you can't do that in a classroom with kids. You can get right into their thinking in their heads. And I think that's really powerful and exciting. Okay. So I'm going to show you this. So check this out. We can record so easily. This is what I'm seeing right now. You guys might not be seeing exactly this, but right when I click record, I can choose to record on this computer or on the cloud. And we've had a lot of questions like, what does the cloud mean? What does this mean? So if you are on a computer, you can record it will automatically go right to your documents folder. And in your documents folder, there will be a Zoom folder. You don't even have to put it there. It just puts it there for you. And it will automatically download to that folder after your class. That's cool. But what I think is even cooler, especially because you get your free upgraded account, is when you upgrade your account, you can record to the cloud. So Zoom, the cloud is like the interweb. All the things, when we send messages to each other, it goes through this, invisible cloud. Zoom has their own cloud. It's their server where they keep things. They give you 1 gigabyte of space to record your class on. That's about 2-hour-long classes. So it's not going to last you very long. But what you can do is when you record to the cloud, then you're going to go into your Zoom account and see it right there. You can then download it. And then I usually say upload it right to YouTube. You can upload it to YouTube. You can file different videos into folders in YouTube. And think about what you guys can do with this for years. You have lessons now already recorded. You can do this live, or you can do this without kids. I record trainings all the time by myself in my own Zoom call. So when you think about this in a year from now and you have a student absent, if you have been recording all of your lessons, if you record some of your own lessons, you guys have a library of mini lessons now that you could pull for years to come. You have a student absent, send them the lesson. Now that you know how to do this, you can record your lessons all the time, even when you're in your classroom. You could do centers, you could do stations, and think about math teachers. You could have your own little Khan Academy where you're teaching how to do certain things and they can go and watch it. So to me, that's really exciting. So when you record to the cloud, it's really simple. And the reason I say to do that is because you can record to the cloud from your tablet or from your phone or from your computer. If you're on a tablet or your phone, you can't save it to your computer. So I always say record it to the cloud and then go back later on your computer and grab it and download it, okay? Katie, I'm not looking at the chat right now, so if there's anything I need to do, just stop me, okay? So this is how you share your screen. So remember, this is my viewpoint right now. Well, not right now, this is a screenshot of my viewpoint. And these are all my little tools I have. I can manage participants. This is where I can mute everybody. This is where I could ask a poll question. I could put a question and just, it will pop up like a poll and you could answer it. This is where I'll share my screen. I'll tell you that in a second. This is where I can see the chat and write back to you. This is where I can record. This is where I can do one of the coolest things I'll tell you about is breakout rooms. And then here is even more options. So super fun to play around with. But when I click share my screen, this box pops up. And you can see that I have 2 screens. I have 2 monitors. So I can either share my first monitor, my second monitor. I'll tell you about whiteboard later. Or I could share the little things that are already opened on my desktop. And so the reason why that's cool is I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. Then I'm going to share again. So when I want to share something different, I just hit stop share and then I hit start share again. So now I am going to share with you my actual desktop. Okay. So you are seeing right now my computer screen. And I want you to be aware when you share a desktop, You're literally sharing your computer. Like, there's my family, okay? Those are my 2 teenage girls that are less than thrilled about having to learn by themselves. Right now, we're not doing online learning yet in their district. And this one here came in the other day with a full-on face mask, like full face mask in the middle of the day. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I'm doing spa class. So I can't wait for all their teachers to be up online. I think some of her teachers are on this right now. I need you all because I can't keep having spa class as an option. But one of the things that you can do if you're sharing your desktop is recognize, look, I am able to show you multiple things on my computer because I have a desktop like this. Do you see that? But if you don't want your kids to see all the things on your desktop, then I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to hit share again, and I can just share my PowerPoint with you, or I can just share a picture, or I can just share a document. I know I'm just sharing this because I have a green highlight around it. That's how I know I'm sharing it. It's so simple. But now I'm sharing my PowerPoint and you can't see the rest of my desktop. So you have control over what kids see or what they don't see. If you decide to record a lesson by yourself, then you can share your screen with your little picture can show up, or you can turn your video off and you could do a whole PowerPoint presentation with your kids, record it and send it to them. So I think that's another cool piece of it. The only thing that to take note of is that anything you want to share, you have to already have up on your desktop. So it's not like you can click share screen and then go digging around for that one file. You have to have it already open. Unless you share your desktop. If you share your desktop, then they are just seeing everything you're doing on your computer like they're right there in front of you. Okay? So just remember that. You have to have it already open if you want to share it. So I am going to start sharing my screen again so you can see my PowerPoint. So I am clicking share, and then I am clicking my second desktop. So you're just going to see my screen right now. Then I'm going to play my slide. Okay, so now you're back to my screen and my video goes small. I can stop my video right now and then you won't see me, or I can start my video and you'll see me again. Okay. So those are the basic pieces of Zoom. I still have so much more to show you, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of behind the scenes and how that works. But what we're going to talk about now is thinking about how you set clear norms and expectations for your classroom. You should always be doing this in your classroom as well. And you do this like on the first day of school, the first week of school, right? Get your routines oriented. Well, welcome to your new first day of school. I'm like I want to see like first day of school pictures again on Facebook when kids are online learning for their first time. So you are going to want to think about the norms that are always going to be true throughout every class, every day. Norms, some teachers might call them rules. I like the word norms a little bit more. Your norms should relate directly to the culture that you want in your classroom. They should be positive and they should be the same. Like no matter what your activity is, these norms hold true. So I'm going to give you a few ideas for norms. Write them down, or if you're overwhelmed, don't write them down and just listen, and then go back and listen later. So one norm that I often suggest, especially for online learning, but I like this for a classroom too, is to engage fully. So they have the ability to get easily distracted, right? They could actually minimize you and then start gaming, okay? So just name it. When you are here in the class, I want you fully engaged and all distractions are off. Be in a room where you're not going to be distracted by your brothers and sisters. Another norm that I say is assume the best in each other. This is hard. This is hard for me. This is going to be hard for you. Everybody is here for the right reasons, and let's assume the best in each other and not get frustrated. I want you to remain curious and find the joy in learning. That's another norm that you could really set a positive tone for your online class. You can ask me questions privately that you never would have been able to do when we were in class together. So remain curious, ask questions, and let's embrace this as an exciting way that our brains are stretching and that we can find joy in learning in new ways. Then you can ask kids to embrace your mistakes. Embrace the mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes. You're going to see me make more mistakes than you probably because I don't know what I'm doing. But every time we make a mistake, we get better and better and our brains stretch. Another norm might need to be keep your video on at all times. I can't tell you, like when I'm teaching, it's hard when people turn their videos off because I really don't know that anybody's listening to me, right? And so, especially if you really want to like engage your students and hold them accountable, tell them the video has to be on. And then you can tell them if you need me privately, send a private message on the chat. So those are a few norms that I would suggest. I think you have to like maybe teach that right away. Your first class might be just about that. And just getting to know each other and learning what kids have been doing for the past weeks or so. Then your expectations are going to be very clear and precise directions for each individual activity. I will model this when we do some of these activities. These are going to change depending on what you're doing. So for example, like a rule in your classroom shouldn't be always raise your hand, because that's not always going to be the case, right? That's a norm that it's going to change. So that should be a direction for the actual activity. So think about your expectations for behavior. You're going to have to think through very carefully differently, because do you want kids to be able to speak out loud, unmute themselves, do hand signals? Like you just need to think through that. What are they going to do with their bodies, their brains, and their mouths? So for example, maybe you're going to do a dance party with your kindergartners, or maybe they're going to sit on the floor, or you have gym class and kids are going to jump up and down. Or you have art class and you want to be able to see their work. Tell them how you want them to set themselves up, what you want to be able to see. I literally just did a full workout with my gym in Ohio. I live in Connecticut. I used to live in Ohio. And now this is so exciting for me because I can finally work out again with my gym in Ohio that I love. And so I figured I got him online to do his workouts with Zoom. This is a man that literally didn't know how to send a text. So the fact that he's doing full-on workouts with people on Zoom says to me, you all can absolutely do this. But he was giving very clear directions of how he wants people to set up their videos because he wanted to give them, you know, coaching. So be sure to think about that. Another thing is about incentives and accountability. Okay, so think about like behaviors and things like that. You can send private messages to students who aren't meeting your expectations. Hey man, I can see that you're a little bit distracted. I need you to face the camera and to work with us because your learning is really important right now. Okay, like think about that. It's really hard to do that in front of a whole class, but you can do this totally personally and silently with any student. You could give them incentives or give them just kind of some shout outs. Hey, I can see how hard you're working. I know this is hard for you. I'm really proud of you. Keep up the good work. That's amazing. If you use Class Dojo, if you don't stress about it. But if you use Class Dojo to do points or consequences or anything like that, use that. Share your screen and have Class Dojo up there. Another thing that I love, and we do this in classrooms when I coach teachers, but I think this is especially important online, when you get 100% of kids on task or participating, do a class point. Get a piece of paper and tally it up and hold it up and be like, look, we got another class point. And when you get, say, 10 tallies, say, when we get 10 tallies, we're going to get a reward. What could it be? Maybe it's a 5-minute break. Maybe you can watch a fun YouTube video and do a dance party. Maybe you could take them on a tour of your house or your backyard or something like that. They would love that. So if you say we get 10 tally points because we had 100% of you participating, you're going to get to go see my backyard, or you get to see my bedroom. I don't know, whatever you want. But think about that. If you have an accountability hierarchy, if you have a consequence chain or a program that you use, try to keep as much as you can, but think about how that might need to translate online, okay? This might take your entire first class. So don't be overwhelmed by that, but recognize that that's a reality. But also I think this is super cool. You guys could record this and share it and have it for years to come. Okay. We're going to keep going now. We're going to go through some instructional strategies now. And I am so excited about a lot of this stuff. So we're going to first talk about a whiteboard. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. And now I'm going to click share again. Like there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons that I have. And all the things I'm doing, you can do within these 7 buttons. Okay. So I'm going to click share screen again, and this box pops up, and I am looking right now at all the ways I can share my screen with you, just like I did before. And one of the options is whiteboard. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of this in a little bit, but I'm just going to show you what it does first. Look, I have a whiteboard. You guys have a smartboard right here. I love this. Anybody that doesn't have a smartboard in their classroom, you could literally project this up on your wall, and then this could be a smartboard. You can make your own smartboard if you don't have one right now in your classroom when you get back. So here's the tricky thing about the whiteboard, and I'm going to give you some solutions. I have a mouse right now. So I can draw on my whiteboard, but when I do this with a mouse, it looks really funny. It's a little bit tricky, okay? But I can do this, whatever. But I can also do text. So I can type, I can change my color. I can do another one here in a different color. It's all up here for me and pretty simple. Your kids can do this as well. They can add to the whiteboard. I've taken away your power to do that because I have learned with 500 people, it gets a little messy, okay? But with 20 kids or 10 kids or 30 kids even, you can do this with your kids. I can do a stamp. I love you all. I can draw. I can do a whole bunch of things. Now, this is cool, and I love the idea. I can save the whiteboard. I can also share a document and then annotate on top of it. So when I share a document, there's an option for annotating, and I can write right on it. I can save my whiteboard. I cannot save my annotated document. So my suggestion for you, if you have an annotated document that you want to save, screenshot it, and then you can save it to your photos or to your phone, okay? But the whiteboard you can save. Now, you're gonna say, okay, but this is hard to write on with my pencil, with my mouse. Yes, it is. This is why I have my iPad. I took share off, and now I'm back on my iPad. Now, why I'm on my iPad is I am in the room too. Look, I can see myself because I am a participant in my own Zoom, just like you are. I just clicked the link and I joined right in, okay? And what I'm actually doing, I don't know if you can see this, is I am going to share. Oh, hang on. I gave nobody the power to share. So that means I can't share either. I am just gonna click on share. And now I'm gonna allow all participants to share, but that does not mean I want you to share, okay? So now I can share. I just hit share content, and there's a little button right here that says whiteboard. Oh, hang on, is that me? No. I need nobody share anything. Don't even try anything right now. Don't try to do your whiteboard. Okay, I am now sharing my whiteboard from my iPad. I have an Apple Pencil. I now can write exactly like I would write on a whiteboard.
Carrie, can you go back? I'm getting a ton of messages. Can you go back? Did you have to connect your iPad, or how are you using your iPad?
So I didn't have to connect my iPad. All I did was click on the same link that you guys clicked on to get into my Zoom room. I clicked on that link from my iPad. So I am like a second participant. There's no connection. I just clicked on the link, and because I have the Zoom app on my iPad, it just brought me right into the room with everybody. If you don't have an iPad, I have an idea for you, so don't worry, hold on. But I just want to show you what's possible. I also think you should ask your principal for an Apple Pencil. Okay. I'm kind of joking because I was a principal, so I know what that feels like. But if you have funding, this could be cool. I think like Apple should do give Apple Pencils to all teachers. What do you think? All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my whiteboard. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here. If you don't have an Apple option. Oh, hang on. Now I have to take away the power for all of you to share. So I'm just clicking share on advanced options, and I'm saying only the host can share now. So now those of you that are playing can't share with us. That was super simple. I didn't have to do a lot. But if you don't want your students to share, if you're not sure they're going to be able to handle it, you can just turn off that power. okay? So if you don't have an iPad or an Apple Pencil, all you have to do, well, there's a couple things. I'm gonna give you a workaround, and I'm gonna give you an alternative. So we have found a tablet that you plug into your computer. It's a USB port, and it turns, and it comes with a stylus. And you can literally just plug it into your computer and then use it like I just used my iPad. It's $35. So if that's like in a budget that you can use, and go grab it. If it's not, I've decided that I'm actually saving a lot of money because I can't go out to eat as much or go to Starbucks as much. So maybe the $35 can be in replacement of some of your other spending that you're not spending anymore. But see what you can do. Now, Katie's gonna put a link for the one that we found. You guys, we've had like thousands of teachers, so I'm pretty sure like I've single-handedly caused this to sell out. But I'm searching for new options for you, because there's some that are like $200. I'm searching for new options for you. We just haven't had a chance because it just sold out. So, but we're gonna put the link in anyway. So, and we'll share the link with you later. But you know how on Amazon it gives you alternative options? So we're gonna just share the link with you. If it's still sold out, see if you can find alternative options, but it will also give you a sense of what you're looking for. So you could look on Best Buy, Walmart, Target, and those kinds of things as well if you can't find it. Another way that you can do whiteboard, if you don't have any of those options, is that if you know what Google Docs are like Word documents that are on the cloud. So they're online, and you can have a website, a URL that associates itself with that document. Google Docs is amazing. If you don't know Google Docs, ask somebody in your school, because I guarantee you people know Google Docs in your school. You can share your screen with your Google Doc, and then you can just be typing right into the Google Doc, but you can share the URL with your students through the chat. They then can have access to the Google Doc immediately. They can even add their thoughts to the Google Doc, and then you guys have a document that you can always have. So it's like a workaround for the whiteboard. It's a share screen with the Google Doc, but it's just another way to be thinking about some things, okay? So I wanna hear from you guys right now. I wanna see engagement. So I want you, when I say go and not before, clear directions, because your kids will start typing before you actually give the full direction. When I say go and not before, I want you to write to everyone in the chat ideas that are raging in your head about how you can use whiteboard. And this is gonna be super cool, because we're gonna see so many ideas. You guys are gonna see a ton of ideas that you didn't think of. Go. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee, which is now kind of cold. Ugh. All right. Oh my gosh, so many. Look at this. Phonics, math lessons, morning message. Yes, morning message. Anchor charts, annotations. Think about anchor charts, because you can save the whiteboard. Then you could send the anchor charts to the kids after, and they could use the anchor charts as they're working, right? Because anchor charts, the whole point is that they're up and they can use as a resource. You guys can make the anchor charts together. Science notebook of drawings. Yes, do nows. Formative assessment, draw and label, everything. Yes, exactly. So it's a really cool tool, all right? So keep them coming. I'm gonna share my screen again so we can keep moving. I know I'm moving fast, you guys. Remember I told you 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag? I have so much I wanna share with you, and I'm not even able to share it all, but that's why we're gonna send you the recording, and we're gonna stay connected with you. This is what it looks like when I hit share to access the whiteboard. You just click whiteboard, and that's how easy it is, okay? All right, now this is my favorite part. We can do breakout rooms, okay? So breakout rooms are really powerful because you can actually put kids into small groups. So you could put 3 kids in a group, 5 kids in a group, 10 kids in a group, 2 kids. You could put 1 kid in their own room. Think about the possibilities of that. You can tell everybody that they're gonna be doing their own independent reading, put them each in their own room, and then you get to jump into every room whenever you want and do a one-on-one conference with students. Think about that. I'm gonna give you a really good idea for writer's workshop in a little bit, but think about the possibilities of that. There's so many ways that we can be using these breakout rooms. We can do partner work. They can do collaborative groups. It's really exciting. You can broadcast a message when your kids are in the groups. You can broadcast a message to everyone, or you can just pop into rooms and then check in with them. We're going to do an example of that so you know exactly what it feels like. But one thing that you're going to have to do when you think about this is your precise directions. What are the expectations of students when they are in the rooms, right? And you're going to tell them you're going to pop in, and they never know when you're going to be there. So the expectation is that they're still fully engaged, okay? So we are going to do a think, pair, share right now. So give me a thumbs up if you've done a think, pair, share before. Give me a thumbs down if you've never done a think, pair, share. I see thumbs up. I see some thumbs up. I'm looking at all of you. I am a big stickler for 100% engagement, but you guys right now with all of you, that's really hard. But yes, okay. So think, pair, share. We know what a think, pair, share is. So this is one of the instructional strategies that I was able to dig a lot into terms of best practices and how we do think, pair, shares really effectively. And so I am going to kind of go over a way to do a think, pair, share that you can do in your classroom easily when you get your kids back, but a great way to do it online, okay? So I'm going to ask you a question that I want you to think about for 30 seconds. See, I'm starting to set my expectations. And then I'm going to put you randomly in rooms. Now I could put you in, I can assign you to be in certain groups with certain people, but with you all, I'm just going to do it randomly. I'm going to put you randomly in rooms and you are going to share your thoughts with your partners. Now with think, pair, share is usually 2 partners. But if I only put 2 people in a room and somebody doesn't show up or somebody walked away from their computer, then you're stuck with nobody. So I'm going to put about 5 of you in a room together, but normally I would just do this with 2. Okay. I'm going to pop into your rooms and listen in. And then I'm going to bring you back and I am going to cold call on you to share your partner's response. I'm going to cold call you to share your partner's response. So now I want to ask you a question.
Carrie, before that you do that, can you go back 2 slides and show them again really quick exactly where you click to get to breakout rooms?
Oh, I haven't actually showed it yet, but I will. I can show that. I'll show that right now, real quick, just so to ease stress. This is Jackie and Katie and I meeting yesterday as we were taking screenshots to show you all. So this is what my screen looked like. This is what my screen looks like now, except, you know, multiply it, you know, to equal almost 500 people. Hang on. This is my view. And all I had to do was click on breakout rooms. When I click on breakout rooms, now let me pause. You will have to set up breakout rooms in your settings. So you go to the website, zoom.us, and you will see settings. And there are all sorts of settings there. You're going to play around with that. You're just going to go and visit it and take your own little tour around the settings. And you will see, do you want to turn on breakout rooms in your class? And you'll say yes. And that's all you have to do and it will show up. You cannot be sharing a screen when you go into breakout rooms. So I will have to stop sharing my screen in order to do this. All I do is click on breakout rooms and then this pops up and look, I only have 2 participants here, but this will say to me, assign like 400 participants into however many rooms I want. And it will automatically do the math for me. It will tell me if you put them into 5 rooms, you'll get, you know, 100 people in a room. If you put them into 45 rooms, you'll get 5 people in a room. It will tell me exactly how many people per room there will be. I can make it manual, so I can assign you rooms, or I could just have them randomly do it automatically. This is what I'm looking at. This is all you have to do. Okay? So I'm going to stop sharing right now, so that I can put you in breakout rooms. So I'm going to go over directions one more time, and then I'm going to tell you what your question is. I'm going to give you a question. You're going to think 30 seconds about the question. Then you're going to go into your breakout room, and you're going to share your answers with your partners. I'm going to bring you back, and then I'm going to cold call on some of you to share your partner's response. Okay? So my question is, why do you think why am I cold calling you? Why am I cold calling you to share your partner's response? Put that in the chat. I'm going to unmute all of you. Katie will actually unmute all of you in a little bit so that you'll be able to talk. Yes, so students are engaged, so they will listen. I am saying that direction before I put you in your rooms. So you know you're more likely to engage if you know Carrie's going to cold call me, right? So I am telling you before I put you in your rooms. I am also telling you you're going to share your partner's response. So you are ready and listening. I want you to share your partner's response because now I have active listening going on, right? And it's not just what was in my brain. Now they have to participate because not only am I going to cold call them, but they have to have listened to what their partner said. Your think, pair, share question has to be an open-ended question. It cannot have a right or wrong answer. It cannot be yes or no, because once one person says the answer, there's nothing more to discuss. So think about your depth of knowledge wheel and get it in level 3 and level 4s, where you're having them compare and contrast or think deeply about something, an opinion about something. The question I'm going to ask you is going to be is a question that everybody can answer, but it will hopefully make your thinking evolve. So when you share your response, you're going to be thinking about your own answer, but then you should learn more from your partner's response. And then when I cold call you, you should learn even more from the whole class response. So thinking about your question is going to be really important here. All right, I'm going to try to, this is a little bit of a tricky thing. I'm going to try to unmute you guys, but don't say anything. And then I'm going to put you in your room.
I don't remember what they're called. But muted everybody. Look at that.
Hey.
Oh, I gotta go watch me here.
Oh, I know who's in my group. April, are you there? Judy? Are y'all in my group?
Yeah, there. I saw Diane.
I gotta join.
You're confused.
What is happening? She's not there yet.
Yo creo que como a las 11, creo. No está listo ni ver.
I'm actually using 2 different devices for the stream. I've got my phone and I've got one on my computer. And one on my phone is working.
Tina?
This is my group.
But the one on my computer is not in a group.
Yay.
No
estoy mío. No mío.
There she is. There she is. See Diane.
There we go.
Changed.
Know who's in the group?
Bien phone, 500 personas.
I can't tell if this is working on my phone.
I don't know if I'm doing this right though.
Okay. She's very cute.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, everyone.
Morning.
Oh.
Oh.
I can hear you. I just don't have a picture because I don't have a camera on my.
You know which one's your group though.
How do you know if you're in the
out there?
We all just wake up and come to the phone. You know, I can't wait.
Third, 7th grade.
Cross.
Can't multitask. What a guru.
Hello?
Put us in groups so we can
Is
go into a breakout
whoever's
room.
talking
Oh
or
my gosh.
Like, on mute.
What is alarms going on? Yeah.
Screaming child. I'm on a video.
And you can chat with them.
Something I'm excited about is being able to see.
Is this our chat room? Is this all of us?
Excited about. Here's my
Excited about
nice group.
I'm excited about and
If you want to go to the store, they're
We're supposed to be in a group, but I don't know.
Or are we
Why do you handle everybody talking
over each other? Want to go with me?
What is that?
Okay.
Screaming?
Someone's in a group.
Somebody has a bird, I think.
Not in a group.
That's a bird idea.
I think this is our group.
I'm sorry. Kind of bird.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I'm looking for Julie Marriott. She's in Are we in a group? Hello?
Yes, I think this is our group.
Yeah. Had another break at the roof with made this engaged.
See my dog. See you, Chelsea. Just a box with your name. Oh, this is Laura. Oh, there's something making a squeaking noise.
Agree, Karen.
Okay.
Hello.
Unmute me. Okay. We're back in them.
What's the coronavirus? I don't even know where I am. I don't see me anywhere.
Cross.
Well, this thing is like,
Oh, Chelsea Cross.
I'm excited about trying this. I
Oh my gosh, it's the alarm.
Maybe the Russian.
Okay, so what are we going to share out here? We need to share somebody's thinking.
I'm trying to pay attention how to do this shit, man.
Oh dear.
Rough.
Where is everybody from?
Oh, there's
Florida.
Now you're now it's
I'm from
Tampa,
Tampa.
Florida.
See, the list is getting smaller.
So when there's the yellow around your screen, is that the person talking?
Oh, and
Did you get an invite?
Are you talking or listening?
How do we control everybody talking over each other?
Okay, so what was the question?
What are you excited about?
nervous about
Seeing my students again.
Yes, seeing my students again. And understanding.
Seeing my students again.
Agree.
Something productive on Monday.
Playing Zoom for a morning meeting.
Because there was so much chicken on it that the lid wouldn't stay on.
I don't know. It started ringing all of a sudden.
Oh, Lord.
What's happening?
Somebody's
going off.
I'm excited
You're
about
one
seeing my
fire
students
check.
again. How did I get that yellow one? How do you do that?
Someone is burning something.
Goodness.
Everyone leave the building. Fire drill.
Fire drill.
Fire drill.
Fire drill.
No fire drills. We are not practicing that.
Oh, how do we get out of this? It's horrible.
Hey, Shelby.
Hi.
Hi.
Here we go.
Is it you burning something, Shelby?
No, it's not me, I promise.
Early.
So is there a yellow square around whoever's talking?
Yes, that looks like to be true.
Oh.
In a different group?
Yeah, I think I just joined a different group.
Call now.
Second, something is happening. Oh, excuse me. As you come.
Okay, everybody. So that was a little crazy. I totally get it. So some of you never got into a room. And that was only that. Don't worry about it. I'm going to explain to you what happened. And this is great, right? Like I actually struggled with this right now and I didn't set something up correctly. So one was I didn't tell you the question before I put you in your rooms. So that's when I sent a broadcast to all of you. But some of you, as you were transitioning into rooms, probably missed the broadcast. But I wanted you just to get a feel of what it was like. And so the process is super cool. It's very simple. And when it's not with 400 and something people, it's a lot easier. I was, hang on. All right, sorry. I was able to jump into rooms. So first of all, some of you were like, I have a question. And you pushed the button and I got a notification right away that said that so-and-so has a question. Okay. And then I was able to see that some people never made it into their rooms. So I put you into rooms. Like for some reason you didn't get in there. So it was just super simple for me to say, put this person in 14, put this person in 22. But I had 81 people that were in rooms. So I couldn't get all of you in there. I was working as fast as I could. So, but it's really, really, really cool. So what I want you to do right now is just put in the chat, what is something that you think that you're going to do with the breakout rooms? And then I'm going to share my screen and we're going to keep going. Put ideas. Okay, guys, I know it's 11 o'clock. If you want to give me just like 4 more minutes, I can finish this. But there's a couple more ideas that I think are so powerful. And I've been on time for all of them, but I'm going to just leave if you have to leave, and we're still recording, but there's some really cool things I want to share with you. Okay, so formative assessments. I am a very big stickler when I coach teachers about knowing that your kids are learning, not just that you taught it. It's not, your job is not teaching, it is learning, okay? You get to learning through really good teaching and checking to make sure kids are learning. So I've already done what I call a stop and jot with you. So in a classroom, I will have kids stop and jot a question really quick on a Post-it note. Now you don't have Post-it notes, so you can have them post right privately to you in a chat for a stop and jot. Think about that for an exit ticket. You have little kids, put them all in a room by themselves and go around and do an exit ticket or a stop and jot with a verbal response that nobody else can hear. You can also have kids hold up a piece of paper and do the gallery view and let them show you like a whiteboard or their stop and jot answers holding it up. So think about ways that you can check to make sure kids are learning. Do not just teach. Teach and make sure that kids are learning. It is data-driven decision-making all the time, because if you see that kids aren't getting it, then you need to recognize that, okay? Hand signals. I already did a few hand signals with you. I love to do true and false hand signals. So I get my screen sharing off. I can see my whole class, and I'll say, okay, we're going to do true and false. And I do things like true is like goalposts, and false is like a big X. And you can see in one glance if kids are getting what you're teaching. So think about all the different ways you could do hand signals to do checks for understanding. That's exciting and cool. Okay. Cold calling. We already talked a little bit about cold calling and why it's so powerful and important. I think we should be cold calling even in classrooms as much as possible, because when kids just raise their hand, it's always the same kids that raise their hand. This way you are truly checking for understanding and randomly calling on kids. I want you to Google name randomizer. If you Google name randomizer, you will see a Wheel of Fortune like thing. Put all their names in it, share your screen, click the wheel, and that's who you're going to call on. They will love it. But make sure you ask the question before you call on the person. Because if you call on the person and then ask the question, everyone's not going to think, because they're like, well, I don't have to think. Nancy's going to answer for me, right? But ask the question first and then do the cold call. And that is a way that you're going to get all of your kids engaged, even though you're not right there with them, okay? If somebody doesn't know the answer, you say, that's okay not to know the answer, but it's not okay not to learn. Cold call somebody else. If they can answer it, great. Go back to that student. Do a no opt-out. So you're getting everybody learning, okay? Think about that. We have so many ideas. We're going to post a bunch of tips and ideas on our Instagram page. So make sure you're doing this. This is the one I really want to tell you about. This is writing. This is amazing. Everybody should be doing writing across the curriculum. This is a great way you can do it. Stay with me for a second as I explain this. Let's say you have 15 kids in your class. You make 15 Google Docs, 15 separate Google Docs. Put their name on each one. Each Google Doc has its own URL, its own website. Then you're going to make a 16th document that has all the kids' name on it and their link next to it. You just copy the link and put it into your 16th document. You share that 16th document with your students, share the URL. If this is too fast for you, don't worry. You can ask a friend or you can go back and listen. You share that document. The kids open it up and they see their own URL. They click on it. You now have all 15 open in your screen. They start writing. You guys, you can watch them actually writing. If it's an essay, if it's like a writing prompt, you can keep it open and then every kid can be writing and you can go in and make comments, but you could put each kid in their own breakout room and jump in and do a conference with them while they're writing, while you have their Google Doc up in front of you. You can't do that in a regular classroom, right? You can't do these conferences with such privacy. And so you can jump in and out of all of those rooms and every kid can be writing and you are still checking that everybody's writing because you have all the Google Docs up on your screen. So it's a very cool way. It's worked so well. Don't be overwhelmed if you're not sure. Just I want you to leave this with, whoa, this could be really cool and powerful. And if you don't know how yet, that's fine. I just want you to know the what, okay? I said that you can do exit tickets, get a sense of what they learned. They can hold a paper or use a breakout room or do it in the chat and a private message to you, okay? So this is what I want to kind of share with you before we go. Martin Seligman is a psychologist that he's been researching character strengths for years and years and years, but he really worked with the KIPP charter schools to see which character strengths were so important for our kids. And he researched that you can learn them. So he realized that you can learn optimism, that you can learn grit, that you can learn perseverance. So I used to train teachers on this and they would get so excited, but they didn't know how to teach it. They were like, I don't know how to teach grit. I don't know how to teach curiosity. I don't know how to teach optimism. And Martin Seligman said this. He said, if you care enough about something, you're going to figure out how to make it work. And I know you all care about your kids. I know you care about making this work. And as hard as it's going to be, even though you don't have all the answers right now, I hope that this inspired you to realize there is so much more possible than you might have known, that this isn't going to be that hard. It is figure outable. And if you want it bad enough, if you want to be successful, if you want your kids to still be learning during this time, you will figure out how to make it work. But let me tell you, we are here. You go, that's our Instagram page. Please go there. That is your best way to connect with us. We have some ideas about how we can keep you guys connected and keep you learning and keep you supported. We are just volunteering this. This is like not, we all have our full-time kind of job. So our capacity is somewhat limited, which is why we are full today. We're doing a training on Tuesday. We don't have any more space. So if you have people that you know want this training, we are going to post the recording soon on our website. We will let you know on Instagram when we do that. We have had some principals and some teachers reach out about whether or not I can do a personal training for their schools. If that is something that you want to do, we can talk about that. There will likely be a fee for that, but I will make it as manageable as possible. But if you need some personalized stuff, let me know. But we are full for our last training is Tuesday and we are totally full. We don't actually have the capacity. I can't tell you how many people are volunteering behind the scenes to make this possible. So you can share the recording that we send to you. We will put it on our website, connect with us on Instagram, and stay tuned for more ways that we can try to serve you. We're working on teaching our own kiddos and working in our own schools, but we will do whatever we can to continue to support you guys through all of this as well. Okay, so that is everything I have. That is 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. I'm sorry I went over. I hope this was helpful. I'm really appreciative of how hard you are working, just not for my kids too, right? Like I am a terrible homeschool teacher. My kids have been like in the corner doing their work without me. And for parents all across the country, we are so grateful for the work that you are putting in and just dedicating yourself to, because besides those healthcare workers on the front lines, there's no job more important than what you all are doing. The responsibility on your shoulders is great, but you have a supportive community, and I just want you to know how valued and honored and respected you really are. I love all of you, and I'm super excited to be a part of your journey here. All right, I am going to just stay on for 2 more minutes or so you can write in your last few questions. Katie and Jackie are keeping track of questions, and so we are going to send you answers that we weren't able to answer in the chat. Also, I just want to say, Amanda Palmer, you and your virtual screen over there is awesome. You can have a virtual background I forgot to tell you about. You could make it so you could put a picture up of like your class behind you. If you have a messy house and you want to have like the San Francisco Bridge or space, you can do that. I forgot to tell you that. There's so many things I want to tell you that I can't tell you all. But
Carrie, can you put the screen back up since it has our Instagram?
Oh, sure. Please make sure you get on Instagram, you guys. I cannot respond to everybody's emails right now. Oh my gosh, you all are so welcome. It's a beautiful sunny day here, so I think I'm gonna go out and have a little walk. The virtual background, there's some really great information. We'll send you guys all about that. Students are gonna join just like you guys joined. They literally click on a link. They have to download the Zoom app on their phones, but my doorbell's ringing. I think it might be a delivery. I have no idea. So much to learn. The to-dos, like logistic to-dos, Zoom is amazing with their resources on their website. So if you can't find something, message us and we will find it for you and send it to you if we can. But it's every question that we've ever had, we can answer through that Zoom website. Students can have a virtual background too.
Hi everyone, the Instagram is right on our slide. So you just have to open Instagram and type classroom_you, not a hyphen.
The icon on our Instagram is this, Classroom U. And our website, Katie, throw the website in there too. We are sending, I promise you, we are gonna send you the best darn cheat sheet you can imagine, because Katie MacArthur is a beast.
Okay, I'm gonna jump off. Thank you guys so much.
All right, yep, I am going to end as well. Thank you all so, so much. Stay connected with us. We're very, very excited. We will email you all of this information. Bye, everyone.